Hello everyone! Last week I posted this image on Instagram and remembered how easy it was to make this, so I decided to make a tutorial for you guys. This is the piece that I'll be creating in this video. The video is in real time, so it should be easy to follow, but if for some reason I am going too fast, just pause the video and try to catch up. I start off by drawing 3 circles. I usually use an uneven number like 3, 5 or 7 because it just looks prettier. I don't particularly pay attention to where they're positioned. I just knew I wanted them to overlap, and to make it easy for you guys, just use a tool like I did with my cup to make the circles if you're not good at drawing freehand. All the tools that I am using in this video can be found in the description below. I'm sorry if the outline isn't really visible. I am used to using a light hand and I probably should have used a little more pressure so the lines would be more visible for the purpose of this tutorial. But yeah, it's just my way of handling a pencil. And the last step was removing the pieces of the circle that I didn't need because they are overlapping, and adding the little tip and the cord where you hang the ornaments. I decided to just go straight up to make it easy. The next step is adding in the area where the highlight goes. I decided to have the light source come from the right upper corner of the page, so I put the highlight on the right upper area of the ornament. The color scheme I am going for is blue and purple, and here you can see me test out a few colors that I had in mind. I didn't list the names of the colors in the description because I feel that everyone is free to use their own materials, and to be honest, I don't even know the names of the colors that I use. The only moment when I do pay attention to the names is when I need to go buy new tubes. I start by wetting the ornaments with just plain water. I had a little color in my water just because it's a little more visible for you guys, but it's definitely not necessary. I try to exclude the highlight part so that one stays untouched by the paint. And if you're more experienced, it's actually a step that you can skip if you want, but I'll explain later why I do it this way. When I wet the other ornaments, I make sure that there is a little bit of space between the 2 ornaments, so where they would meet or overlap, there would be a little white line. If you want to, you can use masking fluid to make sure that the white areas stay protected. I wanted this to be an easy tutorial, and therefore I limited my tools to the absolute necessary ones. You could totally create this piece with just tools that your kids use for their own paintings. Therefore, I did not include masking fluid in this tutorial. Here I realized there was a puddle, so I am picking up the excess water with my brush. I do this by drying my brush on a paper towel and then going over the puddle. The brush will then absorb the excess water. Next comes the fun part. We add the colors. And as you can see, because we put in the layer of water first, from the moment you touch the paper with the color, it will flow out. For this part, it's important to make sure that you have a lot of color loaded on your brush, meaning that the color is not diluted with a lot of water. We already have water on the page, and that will dilute the color even more. So make sure that you test it out on a scrap piece of paper. Make sure that your color is very vibrant from the moment you touch the paper. Here you can see the water flow, and you can also see that it doesn't touch the area that I left dry. You can see that it creates a nice border around it. I decided that the border was a little too big, so I made it smaller and touched just a little bit of the other ornaments so the colors would just flow very modestly. In between each ornament, I clean my brushes to make sure that the color is out, and I test out new color that I'm loading up on my brush. That's why it takes a little time before I go to the next ornament. If this had been a sped up video, I would have cut this entire piece out and gone straight to adding the color on the other ornament. Since I wanted this to be as realistic as possible, I decided to keep it in because I wanted to show you how much time I sometimes take picking colors in between. The reason why it took me so long is because I wasn't exactly happy with how the purple turned out that I had chosen before. I wanted it to be more vibrant and had more blue in it. So I did the entire process of mixing colors all over again. Here is the last ornament, and you can see that I am doing it the exact same way as I did before. You can see that there is a line between the blue and the purple ornament now, and I will gently make that line smaller and touch the other blue ornament just a little. Here I am mixing the color for the background again. It's basically just the colors that I had used for the ornaments, but with a lot of water. You can see that I add a little bit of paint on the paper, and then I go into my bucket of water to add more water to my brush and dilute it even more. And the fun part is that you touch the ornaments just a little, and the excess color starts flowing into the background, and that pulls it all together. This is also the reason why I added a layer of water on the ornaments before I added the color. Adding extra water will help create a buildup, and if you touch the puddles in the ornaments, they will flow out like you can see here. After this, I just let everything dry, and then I can go to the next step. If you're not a patient person, you can totally use a blow dryer to speed up the process. Here I am going to add in the tips and the chords that hang the ornaments. For this, I am just using a color that matches the ornaments, so blue or purple would be fine. Next, I am adding in the chord. Because I don't want a sharp line, I add plain water to one side of it. This will make the color flow out and create a gradient. To prevent a sharp line at the end, I pick up the excess of water with a paper towel. After this, I created 2 more paintings with the same technique and added an extra step here and there. The tutorial for this one will be up next week or maybe the week after, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and I hope you give it a try.